Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. This is our third session in playing the piano in our instrument of change. My name is Brian Bailey, and I am here just to facilitate learning. Now, what we did in the last two sessions, you need to go and you need to practice it over and over again. And remember, practice is not that you do it until you get it right. You have to keep doing it until you cannot get it wrong. The last place we left off, the last time, was we did all our scales. And then we started talking about chords. So again, let's go over our scales. Our scales are, we play them in the cycle of fifths. So we start on C, then we count up to 5 in the scale of C to the next note that we'll start on again, which is G. So let's go through it. So we start on the note of C and we play the C major scale. Then we count up 5. Then we play the G scale. Then we play the D scale, which is next. Then our A scale. Then E. Then we play B. Then from B we play F sharp or G flat. Then D flat. A flat is our next scale. Then our E flat scale. Then B flat. Then F. Then we're back to C. And what I need you to do is to play them over and over and over again every single day. Rehearse them, know them inside out. And when you do that, it will be easier for you to play the scales. Now let's go over to our chart. And remember, in the cycle of fifths, C, there's no sharps or flats. G, 1 sharp. D, 2 sharps. A, 3 sharps. E, 4 sharps. B, 5 sharps. F, sharp, 6 sharps, which is the same thing as G flat, which is 6 flats. Then we have D flat, which is 5 flats. A flat, 4 flats. E flat, 3 flats. B flat, 2 flats. And F, 1 flat. Now, we would like to learn now what is it that constitutes our major and our minor chords. And we're talking about our triads. Now, triads are 3 chords, 3 notes to the chord. Because you'll have lots more notes to the different chords when you start to talk about the 7ths and the 9ths and the 13ths and so on. But we're talking about the basic chords. The first one we spoke about is our major chord. And to form your major chord, all you have to do is to look at the scale, the chart that we did. And we pick out the first note, we skip the second, we go to the third note, we skip the fourth, and we go to the 5th note. So to form your chords, your basic chords, you skip a note in the scale. So we start on the first note, we skip to the third, and we skip again to the 5th. And those are your basic triad, or triads. Now, if you look at your scale, if you start on each of these notes and skip to form those 3 notes in the triad, they are all major scales. They're all major chords, major triads. Now, let's try and prove it. I'll prove it in 1 and 2, and if I prove it in 2 or so, then you can come to the conclusion that it will be same just right throughout. So, let's try it. Remember now, we're talking about triads. We're talking about how the major chords are constructed. If we start on the first note and go to the third note, we have to look at the distance from the first note to the third note, and that is called an interval. So we have it written out here. Our first note is C, our third note is E. What is the interval from C to E? Let us count it. We go from C to our closest note, that is C sharp. That's 1 semitone. From C sharp to the next note, which is D, 1 more semitone. D to D sharp, another semitone, and from D sharp to E, yet another semitone. So right here, we have how many semitones from C to E? 1, 2, 3, 4. And when we have 4 semitones, it is a major third. So remember, 4 semitones, that interval is called a major third. Now let's look at the second half of the chord, and I'll use a different color to highlight that. So let's go from E to G. From E to F is 1, F to F sharp, another, F sharp to G, yet another. So from E to G, we have 1, 2, 3. 3 semitones. So here, 3 semitones gives us a, guess, it's a minor third. So when we're constructing the major chord, it's a major third, which is 4 semitones, and a minor third, which is 3 semitones. Now, let's take a look at G. Let's go from the key, in the key of G, from the first note to the third note, and from the third note to the fifth note. We're just skipping the notes in between. Let's check it out. From G to G sharp is 1. From G sharp to A is another. A to A sharp is another. And A sharp to B is still another. So in this case, from G to B, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 semitones. And that 4 semitones is a major third. So it's a major third will be the first interval. The second interval, let's go from B to C, from C to C sharp, and from C sharp to D. How many semitones do we have there? Count it with me. 1, 2, 3. And 3 semitones is a minor third. That simply means that it proves the point that the major chord can be formed just by taking our first notes here and just skipping a note for the second note in the chord, skipping a note for the third note in the chord. So, if I should go on the keyboard and I should use that chart, C major chord is C, E, G. The second one, which is G major chord, G, B, D. The next one would be D, D, F sharp, A. The next one is A, C sharp, E, and you follow that right throughout, and those will constitute your major chords. Now, let's look at our minor chords. Our minor chords will be our minor third plus a major third. Now, let's check it out. Let's start on a different note. Let's start on D. So, if we start on D, we'll have D, we skip a note, the next one will be F, the next one will be A. So, let's see the distance from D to F. What is the interval between D and F? D to D sharp, one semitone. D sharp to E, another, and E to F, another. So we have how many semitones from D to F? 1, 2, 3. And 3 semitones, it's a minor third. And then, let's count now from F to A. F to F sharp, 1. F sharp to G, 1. G to G sharp, another. And from G sharp to A, yet another. So let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 semitones from F to A. And 4 semitones is a major third. So the minor chord is a minor third plus a major third. Now, there's one more way we can look at the minor chords and the major chords. Let's go to the keyboard. And this is an easy way to learn about the minor chords and the major chords. So, if you look carefully, we have C, E, and G as our major chord, or C major chord, or C major triad. We have 4 semitones from C to E. Now, if I want to change the interval from C to E, all I have to do is to lower the E to an E flat. And now, the interval that we have from C to E flat, or from C to D sharp, which is the same note, is a minor third. So this is the major third. And what I'm doing is lowering the E to an E flat. And now it is a minor third. But what will happen if I lower from E to E flat is that I make it 1 extra semitone from E flat now to G, and that becomes 4 semitones, or the interval of a major third, and that will constitute our minor chord. So it's very simple. If you want to change your major chord to your minor chord, look at that note that is in the middle and lower it 1 semitone. Or you can flatten it. That's another way of saying it, by lowering it 1 semitone. So to turn C into C minor, all you have to do is to change that note in the middle. And now it becomes C minor. C major, C minor. There's still another way for us to learn it. Now, on our chart, we will realize that if we should form a chord on the 1st degree of the scale, which is C, or on the 4th degree of the scale, which is F, or on the 5th degree of the scale, which is G, they are all major chords. So, we can safely say in any key, 1, 4, and 5 are major chords. Let's use a different color. So what are the other chords? 2, 3, and 6 are minor chords. Let's check it out. If we should start, let's start with our 6. So we're going to skip a note. A, skipping B, go to C, skip C to E. Let's see our intervals from A to C. A to A sharp, 1 semitone, A sharp to B, another semitone, B to C, another semitone. 1, 2, 3, a minor third. C to C sharp, 1. Let's use a different color. C to C sharp, 1. C sharp to D, 1. D to D sharp, 1. And D sharp to E, another. 1, 2, 3, 4 semitones. So, our A minor, or if we should just skip a note in the C scale, starting on the 6th of the C scale, you'll get a minor chord. The same thing happens on the 2nd, the same thing happens on the 3rd. Now the question is, what happens on the 7th? This one. What happens on the 7th degree of the scale? Let's examine it. If we should skip a note, it would be B, then D, then F. So let's count it up. B to C, 1. C to C sharp, 1. C sharp to D, another. We have 1, 2, 3. 3 semitones. And from D to D sharp, 1. D sharp to E, 1. And E to F, another. We have 3 semitones. So we have a chord here that has a minor third plus a minor third. And that constitutes our diminished chord. We're not going to be using our diminished chord today. So we're going to ignore that right now. Remember, in our scales, 1st, 4th, and 5th are major chords. 2nd, 3rd, and 6th are minor chords. The 7th is a diminished chord, which we'll ignore for now because we will not be using it today. If we should apply this right across this chart that we have here, in the key of G, G, C, and D are major chords. A, B, and E are minor chords. Same thing happens in D. D, G, and A are major chords. E, F sharp, and B are minor chords. If we should skip all the way down to F sharp, the major chords will be in the 1st, which is F sharp, will be in the 4th, which is B, and will be in the 5th, which is C. And our minor chords will be G sharp, A sharp, and D sharp. Let's just play some of these. Let's play some of these. So, if we're in the key of C, C is a major chord, 4, F is a major chord, and G is a major chord. And in the key of C, D, E, and A, they're all minor chords. If we should skip, let's say, to our D flat. D flat is number 1, so D flat is a brilliant. It's a major chord. G flat is number 4, so it's a major chord. And A flat is number 5, it's also a major chord. E flat is a minor chord in the key of D flat because it's number 2. F is a minor chord because it's number 3. And B flat is also a minor chord because it's number, you got it right, number 6. Now, there is still another way how the major sounds and how the minor sounds. Now, most people say that the major has a happy sound and the minor has a sad sound. Now, unless you really can hear these sounds before you learn them, then this won't make a lot of sense to you. But for the purpose of our demonstration and for me to teach you the different ways, you can hear a major chord long before you know it's a major chord because it has that happy sound. So walk with me through this one. You tell me which one is happy, which one is sad. I'm going to demonstrate them first. Let's start with C. That's C major, and that's a happy sound. That's C minor, that's a sad sound. C major, happy. C minor, you hear that change in it, don't you? Let's listen to this one. This is F major. Happy sound, F minor. Sad sound. Now, I'm going to be playing some of these now, and you tell me if they are happy sounds or sad sounds. Ready? Listen. Is this happy or sad? Happy. All right, good. What about this one? Sad sound. All right, you got that one right. Let's try this one. I'm making it easy for the first part. Let's try this one. Is this happy or sad? Happy sound. I see you had some doubts in your mind, but it's happy. What about this one? Sad sound. Now you're getting used to the sounds. Let's try it again. Which one is this? Happy or sad? Listen, is that sad or happy? That's a sad sound. Very good. Let's try this one. Different one. That's a happy sound. I'm seeing you getting it. What about this one? Happy or sad? Happy. That's a happy sound. What about this one? Sad. So the major chord have that happy sound. Minor chord has that sad sound. It's not a perfect science because then in every song, every happy song, every sad song, you have major chords and minor chords. So it's not a perfect science, but you can hear where the notes are going. Now, so we are going to go into our next section, but we are going to use 3 songs that uses the same progression. Now, what's a progression? A progression, a chord progression, is when you put a set of chords together in a particular manner, and it repeats that manner in another song. Now, the song that we're going to use is a song that I started out playing, Our God is Awesome. The chords that I used would be C, G, A minor, and F. And by the way, when we say C, it's assumed that we are talking about the C major chord. When we say F, it's assumed we're talking about the F major chord. But if we're saying, if it's a minor chord, we always, 100% of the time, say it's minor. No. So C, G, A minor, F. So let's walk over to our board. These are the notes we're talking about. C, G, A minor, F. Let's look. In the key of C, C is number 1. So our number 1 chord is the first chord in the progression. G is number 5. 5 is our second chord in the progression. A, or A minor, number 6. And F is number 4. So if we should substitute just the numbers for the names of the chords, we'll play C, which 1, then 5, then 6, then 4. Why is that important? That is important because you may be playing for a singer that is comfortable with this song in the key of C. But then next week somebody might come that is singing the same song, and that person is no longer singing in C, but that person now is higher, and that person wants to sing in the key of E. So in the key of E, you're going to play same progression. 1, 5, 6, 4. And if you should look on our scale, this is why this scale, that this chart that we have written out is very important for you to keep, for you to study. Now this person is singing in the key of E. E is number 1. Then we go from number 1 to number 5, which is B. Then number 6, which is C minor. Then to our 4, which is A. So remember now, 1, E, 5, B, 6, C minor, then A. And I'm going to show you, when we come back, how is it that we are going to learn to play in all these keys. But just for now, just a demonstration. Same song. This is where we were before with the person that sang in C last week. But this week, somebody comes and sings in a different key, and that person is more comfortable in the key of E. So let's play in the key of E, and it's going to be a different key, same song, same progression, 1, 5, 6, 4. Come back, we are going to discuss how is it we can do this. We can change keys and we can do it efficiently and effectively, just the same way as we play in the key of C. See you soon. We'll be right back.
An important message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. How to wash your hands. Firstly, wet your hands. Then apply some soap. Rub your hands palm to palm. Lather the backs of your hands. Scrub between your fingers. Rub the backs of fingers on the opposing palms. Then clean your thumbs. Make sure to wash your fingernails and fingertips. Rinse your hands. Then dry with a single-use towel. Use this towel to turn off the faucet. And now your hands are clean. When to wash your hands? After coughing or sneezing, after taking public transportation, when caring for the sick, before, during, and after you prepare and eat food, after toilet use, when hands are visibly dirty, after handling animals or animal waste. An important message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Healthcare workers are working very hard to ensure lives are saved and people recover quickly from COVID-19. But their work is becoming harder because you're not wearing your mask, washing your hands with soap and water, or using hand sanitizer, and you are not maintaining physical distance. Let's limit the need for hospital beds and ventilators. Do the right thing. Cover your nose and mouth with a mask. Practice good hand hygiene and maintain a physical distance of 6 feet between you and others. COVID-19 is not over. Protect yourself while protecting others. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Welcome back. And where we left off was where we spoke about our chords. And we spoke about this wonderful progression of 1, 5, 6, and 4. And remember, 1, 4, and 5, they are, you got it right, major chords. And 2, 3, and 6, they are minor chords. The 7th is a diminished chord, and we'll talk about that later on and why we'll use a diminished chord, but not today. Now, so the progression and the song that we used was Our God is Awesome. No. One of the concerns that I have seen with some musicians is that they play beautifully in some keys, some scales, but when they have to go to another scale, they are not very good in those scales. They are not as efficient in those scales as some others. For instance, you'd have some people that would play very well in the key of D. D has how many sharps? 2 sharps. So they will play well in the key of D. For instance, and then they find themselves having to play in D flat for another song, but they have to transpose from D flat to D because they're not that good in D flat. So, what we are going to do now in the next 30 minutes is that we are going to learn some kind of technique how to play in all these keys. Now, we are going to use the same the same song, or God is awesome. So let's go. It's 1, 5, 6, 4. 1, 5, 6, 4. So we are going to go in the cycle of fifths. So it's 1, 5 is G, 6 is A minor, and 4 is F. Now, the second key we're going to play in and learn is the key of G. 1 is G, 5 is D, 6 is E minor, and 4 is C. Let's play it first, and then I'll tell you why we are doing it in that way. So, in the key of G, it's so that is in G. So 1 now is G, 5 is D, 4 is E minor, and 6 is E minor, and 4 is C. Why are we doing it like that? Let me give you the idea so that you can follow, so you can understand why we are doing it in the cycle of fifths. When we play in the first key, C is number 1. G is number 5. A, 6, F, 4. When we switch to G, what is happening is that we're playing G as number 1, which was also in C. It's the same chord that we used in C. G, then we go to D, which is a new chord. E minor is a new chord. And then C is coming from the song we had before, the key we had before. So in each progressive key change, what we'll find is that 2 of the chords that we're using are coming from, you guessed it, the key before. And 2 of the chords are new. So when we do it in a cycle of fifths, we are actually repeating some of the things that we had in the key before. That means that not everything will be new. So we are going to come with some of the old ones with the new ones. In the key of G, it might not be that difficult, but when you get into F sharp and when you get into E flat and A flat, it will be so important that you repeat some of these notes, some of these chords. And the more you repeat them, they say that repetition is the mother of retention. So this is what I need us to do. We are going to practice in each key. And we are going to practice the same song over and over again. And what happens is that we are going to get used to the difference between moving from a number 1 chord to a number 5 chord to a number 6 chord to a number 4 chord. Because there are several songs that have the same progression. And as soon as you hear that progression, it will be familiar to you and you'll be able to immediately jump on the keyboard, knowing that familiarity, knowing that it's 1, 5, 6, 4, and you'll hear it. So let me give you first the changes, and then I'm going to play some other songs that fits into. So we're going to start in C. 1, 5, 6 now. Good. So what I want you to do in the key of C is to play 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then, when you have practiced in the key of C and you have mastered the song in the key of C, then I want you to move to the next key, which is in the cycle, and that is G. First, play the scale. And now you know the scale that you're playing in. That's the tune, so we know where we're supposed to be. Then we play the same song in the key of G. Remember, 1, 5, 6, 4. So let's go it over. So you're going to play 1, the G chord, the D chord, C. So it's 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4. In this key, 1 is G, 5 is D, 6 is E minor, and 4 is C. Now, when you have mastered it in the key of G, you go to your next one. Look at the chart. And the chart will tell you our next one is C, then you have G, then the next key is D. And when you get to D, the same thing happens. 1, 5, 6, 4. And all you have to do is remember the notes that are in the key of D. So, 1 with D, we just did that chord in the key of G. So it's D, F sharp, and, yes, you guessed it, A. The same one is going to come back here, D, F sharp, and A. That's now our number 1. Our number 5 is going to be A, C, and E. A, C sharp, and E. That's number 5. Now, what you'll notice is that our number 5 chord was our number 6 chord in the key of C. But there's a difference between our number 6 chord and our number 5 chord in the key of D. What's the difference? In the key of C, when it was number 6, it was a minor chord. In the key of D, it's now a major chord. What is the difference? The difference is we played in the key of C, A, and then C. In the key of D, it will be A, and then C sharp. Now, our number 5 chord, A, is a major chord. So, it's 1, 5, 6, 4. So in the key of D, we will play the same song. Play the scale first. Then we play. So we're playing 1, 5, 6, 4. And when we have mastered that song in the key of D, then we go to the next key, and that next key is A. Good. And we play the scale first. Then we do the same thing in the key of A. 5, which is E now. 6, F sharp minor. 4, which is D. So what we'll notice, coming from the key of D, D returns in the key of A, and A returns in the key of A. Our new chords will be E and F sharp minor. So we play in the key of A. And when we have mastered it in A, you guessed it, we'll go to the next key, which is E. And 1 is E, 5 is B, 6, C sharp minor, 4 is A. So in the key of E is B, C sharp minor, then to A. When we finish and we learn E, we go to the next one, which is B. So, we are going to speed up this section now. So for us to understand what we're doing, we are learning to play the same song in every key that there is. So, the first key is C. The second key, G, then D, then A, then E, then B, then F sharp, and so on. By doing that, we are learning every major chord, every minor chord, every major triad, every minor triad, and it is important that we do so. So, let us check it out. This is what it will sound when you have learned all the keys. Now you know the principle. You know that you're going from 1, which is a major chord, to 5, which is a major chord, to 6, which is a minor chord, to 4, which is a major chord. Every single key. So I'm going to play all of them right now, from the first one to the last one, just to show how is it that you are going to practice it. Let's start with C. So that is in C. Let's go to G. G, D, which is 5, E minor, 6, C, which is 4, to the next one, which is the key of D. 1. 5, which is A. B minor. Then we go to the next one, which is A. 1, A, E, 5, F sharp, now, 6, D, which is 4. Go to the next scale, E. To B, which is 5, C sharp, 6, A, which is 4. Then we go to the next scale. Same song. 1, B, F sharp, which is 4, G sharp, which is 6, E, which is 4. Then we go to the next one, which is F sharp. 1, C sharp, 5, D sharp minor, 6, B, which is 4. Then we go to the next one, D flat. Then we start in D flat. 1, D flat, A flat is 5, B flat minor is 6. Then we have, G flat, pardon me, which is 4. Then from D flat, we go to A flat. F minor, which is 4. Then we go to our next one, E flat. That's 1. B flat is 5. C minor is 6. A flat is 4. Then we go to our next scale, which is B flat. F, 5, G minor 6, E flat, which is 4. Then we go to our next scale, which is our last one, which is F. Then C, 5, D minor, which is 6, and B flat, which is 4. When you practice it in that way, you will learn all the relevant chords that you have to learn. Every single one you learn. And it is important when you're changing keys from one key to the next one. You need to learn all these chords and how to play them and how to use them. Let me give you a for instance. Let's play the song. And you will learn to play in every single key. And you will also learn how to listen and understand how intervals work. And when you hear a song being played, you'll know what comes next just by listening, even before your hands reach keyboard. We're going to wrap this up when we come right back, and we'll talk a little bit more about our spiritual aspect where it comes to playing the piano. I will see you soon.
Grandma, what are you doing?
I'm looking for a program on EJC to watch.
Oh, cool.
This looks like it's a good one.
Do it.
What?
Do it.
Do what?
You seriously not subscribed to EJC Virtual Church?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to subscribe to it.
Alright, let me show you.
I don't understand.
All you have to do is log in to your Gmail account on YouTube. Scroll up like this and simple. Press this button. Subscribe. Simple. Easy peasy.
Okay, it looks easy.
Alright, now if you want to use your phone to subscribe,
Yes.
all you have to do is click this big red word that says subscribe.
Yes.
Like this.
Okay.
And then you hit the notification bell.
That's easy.
Exactly. Now let's go continue watching this program.
Okay.
All right, welcome back. As we wrap up, let's review first of all what we did. What we did was we played one song in all the major keys that there are. It will take some of you a little time to learn all of them because your fingers need to get used to where these keys are, where these notes are, so you can find them easily and without thinking. The thing is that you have to do it over and over and over again until you are used to them, until you cannot get it wrong. So it's ingrained in your brain. So we played it in different keys. And the song that we used was Our God is Awesome. And then we keep changing the keys. Now, there are other songs that uses the same progression, which is 1, 5, 6, which is a minor, and 4. One such song is He's Able. Diedrich Hanan, He's Able. So this is the progression of He's Able. So, what you'll notice in that song is that that song keeps changing keys. It keeps modulating from one key to the next. So I'll modulate a few of them and to show you the importance of learning to play in all these keys. I'll start in C and I'll go up to D. So what you'll notice is that with his modulation, he changes the key before the singers come in for the next one. So in the progression, he will change a key a little bit before by introducing the new key at the end of the first key. You'll see it as soon as I play it. So I'm going to go from C to D flat to D. Same progression. And those of you who know the song, you know that he keeps changing the keys. Another song which uses that progression is You Are God Alone. Same progression. To 5, 6. And some of these songs we play from time to time, they change and keep changing keys, and we want to sometimes imitate and do just what the artist does on their albums. But guess what? Sometimes we are not efficient in these keys, so we end up not playing it, or we play it in a different key and it's uncomfortable for the singer. We need to learn to play in every single key. Now, if you follow this, which I just gave you, with this one song, then you'll be able to learn all the chords, all the major and minor triads. Now, the next time we come around, I am going to be using a couple other songs that will give you a few other progressions that's common to most Christian songs and to most songs that are out there. And we learn these other songs and learn how to play in every single key, learn how to hear them. So when we're listening to the songs on whatever recording, it's easy for us to figure out and hear the different changes and the different progressions. And it will be easy again for us also to know what the chords are. But before I wrap up, there's one thing I would like to share with you. And this is something that I've seen from time to time. I have seen where I have taught students, and I'm very, 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 very happy when my students play the piano better than I do. I'm very happy to know that. And I have several students that have come to me and over the years have grown even past my level of playing the piano, my efficiency of playing the piano. my proficiency of playing the piano, and that is good. But where it bothers me is that some of us, we get really good at this gift that God has given us. And then pride steps in. Some of us, even when we start to play for church, after a while, we are so good at what we do that there are some singers that we don't want to play for because they are not up to our standard. There are certain churches that we don't want to go and play at those churches because those churches are not at the standard that we represent. Some of us too, we go away to colleges and to universities, and we meet other musicians and we grow exponentially, and we learn, and we get really good at our craft. And then we come back to our local churches where we are coming from, where we were coming from that standard, and we criticize those that are there because pride takes over. Let's read a passage of scripture. And this passage of scripture is taken from Micah chapter 6, verse 8. And it says, "He had shown me, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God." God is asking us to walk humbly with him. We are to humble ourselves. It doesn't matter how good we get, how we are better than others in playing the piano or singing or preaching or doing anything else. It's not about us ever. It's always about God. It's always about Jesus Christ. It's always about the gospel. It's always about the Holy Spirit that gave us this gift, that we can impart it, that we can use it for ministry. I remember the first time I was offered a chance to play with a secular group. And there were 10 shows that I was to play at. 10 shows in Spain. And with the 10 shows, they were to be on a Friday night, a Saturday morning, Saturday evening, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. And it will be repeated the next week. And in that contract, I had to break the Sabbath 4 times, Friday night and Saturday morning. When I saw the money that was being offered to me, I wanted that money so badly that I decided to go. I decided to break the Sabbath, to go and work on these nights with this secular group. I resigned every single post and office that I had in church, and I made the arrangement until my spiritual father, who is now deceased, Elder Norris Crooks, spoke to me. He did not force me not to take the gig, but he asked me to think about it, whether it was right or it was wrong to dishonor God. I could not reason it out in any way. I could not justify it as being right. And I had to humble myself before God and back off that contract. I am still here praising God. And I am happy that I did not go down that road. Because if I had gone down that road, I don't know if I would have come back. Just to let you know. Just to let you know that passage of scripture which says, what does it profit a man to gain the entire world and lose his own soul? I want to go home to live with Jesus Christ forever. So the talent that God gives me, I have dedicated it to his work and to his service. And my prayer for you is that you do the same. And tell you what, if I never meet you face to face, I hope that one day I will meet you in heaven where we'll praise the Lord together because we have used our talent and he has used us to magnify his name and to bring others to him. Thank you for tuning in. Check out the theory classes and please come back again when we learn a lot more about music.